Welcome back to Well Adventurers. Today we have some absolutely massive news. Christmas really has come early for us adventurers with the announcement from Suzuki, the brand new models for the Suzuki DRZ. We've got the DRZ 4S, which is the dual sport option, and we've also got the SM, which is the supermoto option. Now it doesn't look like there will be an E model, which is what we've had here in Australia for the last 20 odd years. So it's just going to be those two models. So it is the S model that I am most excited about, the dual sport model. Can't wait to check this thing out. Now there's been rumors around this for the last few months now. Was it coming? Was it not? It's really, really cool to see Suzuki rejuvenating this model, the DRZ, a bike which has a bit of a cult following around the world. Now let's dive in a little bit deeper, guys, and see what's actually changing on this new model. I'll be talking mostly about the S model, the dual sport option. I'm not too interested in the SM Supermoto, but I'm sure the bikes will be very, very similar in the way they're set up. Now, obviously, guys, this is a completely new look bike. As you can see right here, all new graphics all around, really bringing this bike into the 21st century. It looks a lot more modern. I personally really like the look of this bike, but I have seen a few mixed opinions online. Let me know down in the comments below what you think, but me personally, I really love the look of this thing. I really love up front with that new headlight, a new LED headlight. That's really going to be great for this bike. The old light on the previous model was absolutely shocking, so this thing is going to be a welcome upgrade. There's also mention of a bit of a toolbox built into the plastics on one side of the bike. It's not a major one for some of you, but I'm really keen to check that out. It might be a spot where I can shove all of my tools for those long adventures. We've also got a brand new full LCD display up front. That's going to be an awesome step up from the previous model. I might finally be able to see how much fuel I've got out on those rides. But we've got plenty more modern tech now with Suzuki's Intelligent Ride System, or SIRS, giving us different ride modes and traction control settings, as well as ABS. I've never been a big fan of rider aids and ABS settings on any of my bikes, especially when off-road, but we will have the ability here to switch the ABS off front and rear on this new model. That's absolutely great news for us off-road adventurers, being able to switch that ABS off front and rear and not have to worry about that system interfering off-road. Well, the big one here, guys, the big one that everyone wanted on this bike, we've finally got it. The DRZ has EFI. That's right, guys, no more carburetor. The DRZ finally has fuel injection, which is awesome to see, but we aren't unfortunately getting that mystical 6th gear mod for these bikes. I've seen a lot of people upset about this online, but I'm not too bothered personally. The DRZ is known for its reliability, and to see that Suzuki have just tweaked the engine components rather than making a whole complete new engine, I think that's a really good thing. Hopefully we still see those long service intervals that we've come to know on these previous model bikes, but only time will tell if we get the same reliability out of these new models. We've also got a brand new frame and swing arm setup for this new model bike, guys, claiming to enhance the stability of the bike and help improve the tracking and rear suspension response. Hopefully still a sturdy subframe there so I can carry some luggage on board for those big adventures. And as for that suspension, it's all new as well, sporting some KYB inverted front forks and a fully adjustable KYB rear spring setup. That stock suspension on these previous models has always been way too soft in my opinion, so I'll be keen to test this out on the new bike and see how this KYB setup goes. Now there's been a whole range of changes on this bike, guys. It really is a new model bike. There's a couple other things here to mention that I'm not super stoked with. They're definitely not deal breakers on whether I'm going to want to ride the bike or not, but I'm just going to mention them here anyway. The first one is that the tank on this new model is 8.7 litres capacity. That's down just a little bit from 10 litres on these previous model bikes. And the second thing is that the weight has increased on this new model. Suzuki are claiming 151 kilogram wet weight. That's up around 10 kilograms heavier than these previous models. As I said, guys, again, it's not a deal breaker for me, as I'm putting most of that added weight down to the emission rules. Assuming that this exhaust has a lot to do with that added weight, they've added a catalytic converter, which has happened on previous model bikes that we've seen come out. They add all these extras into the exhaust and it adds a lot of extra weight. So that's where I think all that added weight is coming from. So hopefully down the track, there'll be some aftermarket options where you can switch that exhaust out and save a couple of kilograms. Now, we're still yet to hear anything concrete from Suzuki of the pricing of this bike, but I really hope that they price this thing pretty competitively as to not price it out of the market. Now, what I would compare this bike to at the moment with something else that's out there would probably be the Honda CRF 450 RL. That's probably the closest thing that we're going to get to what this bike is going to be. So I'm thinking possibly a price range around similar to what that bike is. But as I said, I really hope it's priced well, because there are a fair few very competitive priced adventure bikes on the scene at the moment. So if Suzuki goes too high with this price, I think it might let it down a little bit, but we'll wait and see what happens there. So since this announcement was was made by Suzuki, guys. I've been online, I've been in some of the forums, and I've seen what a lot of you have had to say about this new model, and it seems like a lot of you out there are very unhappy that the 6th gear has been left out and that the weight has increased on this new model. Now I just want to make mention, guys, that the model behind me, DRZ, has been around for a long time. They're very popular, they've got a bit of a cult following, and I would put that down to its reliability and its simplicity. So I think if Suzuki went and completely changed the DNA of this bike behind me into the new model and removed all of it, I think there'd be a lot more of us that would be even more unhappy with that. So I'm just happy to see a new offering from Suzuki, and I'm pumped that it's the DRZ. So I'm super happy that they didn't tweak the engine too much. They've just changed the components, probably just to meet those emissions laws. That's what I'm putting it down to, but I'm glad that we're going to have the same capacity engine, should hold the same amount of oil. So we should see those long service intervals that we've come to love on this bike. And if we do, I really think this thing is going to be a good seller, and I can't wait personally to get myself out onto one of these. So I'm going to throw it back to you guys now. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about this new release from Suzuki. Are you just as pumped as me? I honestly can't wait for this thing to come out. Can't wait to get my hands on one and really put it to the test and see how it stacks up with the previous model and bring all that to you guys and show you what it can do. So thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, like this video if you did enjoy it, and subscribe to see some more adventure content coming up. And also feel free to share this video far and wide. Share it with Suzuki Australia and let them know that I'm ready for this bike. I'm keen to test it out and see how the new DRZ 4S goes. But for now, guys, get out there on your own tool adventures, ride safe. See you all soon.